As a plantain buyer, I travel to various communities to source my products. The plantain market has become more competitive with buyers from Burkina Faso, Togo, and Cote d'Ivoire entering the fray. To ensure sustainability, the government could consider regulating fuel prices, which would ease transportation costs for us and help plantain chips producers who are struggling with high oil prices. Ghana's plantain industry is an important part of the country's agricultural sector, providing livelihoods for thousands of farmers and entrepreneurs. But beyond its traditional role as a staple food, plantains are now being transformed into a range of value-added products. Entrepreneurs are innovating ways to add value to plantains, creating products like plantain chips, flour, and frozen plantains. These products not only cater for local demand but also have export potential.
Here is Mienan Foods, and I'm the founder and CEO. My name is Charity Wamiekwa Edupon. At Mienan Foods, we are passionate about preserving our indigenous recipes. So indigenous Ghanaian foods that we all love, that we do not want the generations after us to miss out on. It looks like food processing and preservation is still not, we haven't reached our peak, or we haven't gotten to where we would love to be when it comes to food processing. So the influx of the noodles, now we have about 10 brands in Ghana, spaghettis, and all those are infiltrating our system such that most children don't even want to eat the indigenous foods. And it's also due to the fact that the preparation of our foods are laborious. If you take fufu and palm nut soup, for instance, it takes you the whole day. And so with urbanization and everything else, people are getting busy. Mothers work these days more than even the men do. We spend long hours at work. And so a lot of people don't have the time to eat it. In as much as they would love to eat the food, it would take too much of their time that they prefer to go with the more easy ones, more easily prepared meals. I would say post-harvest losses was also part. That came in when I started sourcing for food from farmers directly. When I started, the main aim was to make our indigenous foods attractive for anyone to want to try it. And my main thing was that our markets were not well structured. The way food was displayed on the floor openly with flies all over was one of the reasons I started. But as the business grows, you can't continue depending on aggregators or farmer market women bringing you raw materials. So I started working with smallholder farmers, and so that I can also source directly from farm gates. One thing was that it was affordable from that end, and also the farmer got their money's worth, because what happens with the aggregators and market queens, for instance, is that they go there and buy it very cheap, and then they come and sell it at a very high price, sometimes 100% profit, and the farmer is at the losing end. So a farmer would wait for 6 months, 9 months, do all the hard labor, and the plants, the crops are ready, and someone rather enjoys their hard labor. And so yes, I felt the need to support them in that way, and especially the women farmers. So I have a special program where I profile the smallholder farmers to give them a ready market, so that they can concept, because most of them have, say, an acre of farm, 2 acre of farm, at most 4, 5, and sometimes they don't even cultivate the whole farm. Their fear is market for the produce. And so with the kind of program I have put together, they have a surety guarantee that, oh, if I grow so much of pepper or plantain or cassava, then Madam Charity will be there to take over, or Mianan Foods will be there to take it over. And so that was one thing, and also empowering the women economically. But with the kind of work we do, we support them so that in season we do not have too much of plantain. For instance, is seasonal. So in season, if you do not, in Ghana we have 2 seasons for it. If we are not able to take advantage and process to extend the shelf life, then we are doomed.
Plantain flour is also being used to preserve traditional foods like fufu, making it easier to prepare and consume.
So given time and convenience, everybody will choose noodles, just rice, maybe rice, spaghetti, and all of those. But those are not our indigenous foods. And the best part of it is that our indigenous food seems more nutritious. If you take dawadara, for instance, it's an immune booster and very high in antioxidants. You take this other one, prekese. It has so many nutritional values that we'll miss on if we do not find a way to preserve them. One of it is fufu. Ghana fufu is made from plantain and cassava. Sometimes cocoyam and sometimes yam. Yam not so much, but cocoyam and then cassava and then plantain. We all love our fufu, even though it's a food for people from the Ashanti region. We all eat fufu, from the north to east to south, everywhere we all eat fufu. We all love fufu. Fufu and light soup, fufu and palm nut soup. And if you take fufu and palm nut soup, for instance, it is so, I wouldn't say difficult, but it takes a lot of time to make. It will take you probably half of the day to make your fufu and abenkwan from scratch. So these are the reasons why we have to process our foods and make it easy for people to eat. And also that way we preserve the indigenous recipes. So this is what got me into the making of or processing of plantains, for instance. But along the line, I realized that sometimes you order plantain, you arrange transportation and delivery, everything, things do not go your way. So by the time it gets here, it's not as fresh as you want it. So we decided that instead of just letting it go or maybe returning it to the farmer, we'll have to find something else to do with that. And that's how come we also started our plantain chips. And whilst growing up, I used to eat a lot of Kofi Brookman roasted plantain and peanuts. But I like, for some reason, I like my peanuts fried with oil instead of roasting. So I have shared it with a few people who loved it. So our plantain chips, for instance, come with the peanuts, the coated peanuts, which makes it different from what we regularly see on the market.
But the potential of plantains goes beyond the fruits itself. The stalks and stems, often discarded after harvesting, can be used to create other products like paper, handkerchiefs, and even sanitary pads. Plantain leaves can be used as animal feed or compost, reducing waste and generating additional income streams for farmers.
If you look at Ghana, from the north to the south, we all eat plantain somehow. It's largely eaten in the middle belt and the southern part. But if you look at the demographics now, because of migration and movement now, we're all spread. So if you go to north, you have people from the middle belt, people from the south. So wherever you go, plantain is in demand. And it's a crop that we need to pay attention to. If you look at some of the data, Ghana is a big producer of plantains and bananas globally. And locally too, there is a huge market for plantains and bananas. What I think we should do is to put in place a structure that enables the whole value chain to give us good returns. So from planting material to available land to irrigation to post-processing. And we should also go beyond just the food in the plantain to the use of the other parts of the plantain. For example, here you use plantain for ampisi or fried plantain for gobe or plantain chips or for fufu or for eto, right? Plantain for eto. So those are some of the uses of plantain. But aside those using, you can use plantain flour for baking. So you can process plantain into flour for baking. And it's also very important because we actually import a lot of wheat and wheat flour and other flours into the country for baking. So plantain flour can be used for baking. And in mentioning plantain, I want to mention high quality cassava flour as well. We can also process high quality cassava flour for baking. Now beyond that, the plantain peel itself can also be used for animal feed. It can be used for animal feed. If we had a well-organized plantain market, we could then aggregate plantain and also aggregate the peels for animal feed. The plantain leaves can also be used for food packaging. Down here in Ghana, we have the wache leaves that we use for the food packaging, but plantain leaves also present a very good opportunity for food packaging. So at home, instead of using plastic to wrap your banku and all those things, you can use plantain leaves to wrap your banku. And so if we looked into how to create an industry out of that, we also be creating value. And the thing about plantain and banana is, once you harvest the bunch of plantain or banana, the plant is waste. The plant will not reproduce again, so you have to cut it. The only reproduction you may get from the plant are other suckers that shoot off that plant for you to replant. But the main plant will not give you anything again, so you cut it. So once we are using the plantain itself, plantain leaves itself, when you peel the plantain, the peel itself for food.
By adding value to plantains and utilizing all parts of the plant, entrepreneurs are helping reduce post-harvest losses, which can be significant due to the perishable nature of the crop. These value addition activities are not only reducing waste, but also improving livelihoods for farmers, processors, and traders. Women, in particular, are benefiting from new economic opportunities. The plantain trade is profitable, particularly during peak seasons. However, during off-peak seasons, sourcing plantains can be challenging. requiring us to visit multiple farms. I previously sold tomatoes, but the risks associated with transportation losses were too high. Now, I focus on plantains, supplying to retailers in Ashama markets and plantain processors. However, high oil prices are affecting our business, and plantain chips producers are struggling. The poor state of farm roads also drives up plantain costs.
ɛbɛtɔ abɔde adwomfoɔ no wɔn de kɔ abɔnten wɔn nso wɔn de sisi market ɛtɔn wɔn nso tumi bɛyi bi ne plantain fo de plantain no anwa no first yɛ baa no sɛ bɔdeɛ kora yɛ fo a plantain fo tumi sisa bɔdeɛ no sɛbi a wɔn tumi sisa bebree sɛdeɛ wɔn de kɔ plantain anwa no nti ɛsɛ nam sɛ anwa no bɔɔde nti sɛdeɛ nɔmba fɛ ɛsɛ wɔn mma saa bio.
By innovating and adding values to plantains, Ghana's entrepreneurs are making the industry more attractive and sustainable, ensuring a brighter future for the country's stable crop.
Plantains are very difficult to work on. Apart from it getting ripe, the enzymic features in it is just way too fast. They come out way too fast. So you need, there are two critical points. If you miss, then the end product doesn't look good. Whether you are frying or you are blanching for fufu or whatever, it's a difficult one. People, even now, after so many years, once in a while you get people complaining that, oh, the fufu looked a little like okonte. It's all because of the plantain. The enzymes come out too. When I talk about enzymes, you know, when you bite into apple and you leave it there for a minute or two, it starts browning. It's same with plantain, but plantain's own is just way too fast. So that's a very big challenge in working with plantain. That's why a lot of our processors also add in potato granules and potato starch in making fufu, for instance. So most of the fufu you find on the market, they have that, and then they have just a small bit of plantain and cassava, because it's a very difficult product to work on. And like you said, there are times that on the way it gets ripened if not handled well. So a farmer, we can agree with a farmer that do harvesting today, then maybe by dawn it should be on the way. But sometimes the labor delays in the harvesting, on the way, anything could go wrong, track getting, and then the temperature at the time. So normally what I do is that when I let them harvest, they should leave there, dawn. If depending on the distance from where they are coming from, they should leave very early, because with the sun, if you don't take care, by the time it gets here, it will be ripened.
And then the plantain stem. The plantain stem presents a big opportunity for us to feed our livestock as well. And it also presents a big opportunity for us to do organic, proper mulching. So if you go to some of the new farms, we use plastic mulch. But if we are able to aggregate plantain stem, you can use it for mulching. And what it does is, because it contains a lot of moisture, if you use it for mulching, it actually delivers more moisture to your plant and also prevents moisture from leaving the soil. And if you use it for mulching, it decomposes and adds important nutrients to your soil for your plants. So plantain stem. Personally, I'm looking at how to process plantain stem and add other things to it to make animal feed for my animals, because there's a big opportunity on that. I know in Asia, the plantain roots, once they cut off the stem, the corm that is in the soil, they are able to process that one as well into a snack. So you cut all the exterior, and then there's a process they use to extract a liquid from it. And this liquid, they are able to, it's a starchy liquid. So they cook the starchy liquid, it hardens, and they use it for a snack, which is food. So they are using all the components of plantain. You know, in Ghana, we say that the palm tree, every part of the palm tree can be used for something. It's the same thing for every crop. Most crops, if you take plantain from head to toe, you can use it for something. So I think that we should pay attention to plantain and banana, because plantain's cousin is banana. We should pay attention to it. If you look at Ghana's export data, for example, we've been exporting a lot of plantain and banana out of Ghana. Now, the plantain industry, the global plantain industry, when it comes to the industry, exports and imports, we are looking at about $15 billion in world trade of plantain. $15 billion in world trade when it comes to plantain and banana. I'm putting them together. And Ecuador is the leading exporter of plantain and banana at about $5 billion. The US is the leading importer of plantain and banana at about $3 billion. Now, interestingly, Ghana is one of the largest producers of plantain and banana, but when it comes to exports, we do not really feature in the big exporters. The truth is we eat a lot of that, but if we also paid attention to develop a lot of plantain plantations and farms.
Part of the work I am now doing with food research and some other organizations is to find ways of having plantains all year round. And so with that, we'll be able to process more. Our products are, I am a champion of local, becoming a local champion in any business that you find yourself. Because I believe that when the product is everywhere here in Ghana, people can access it, it can go everywhere else. And so about 80 to 90% of my products are sold here. But I also process for some exporters who come and get what we have processed and then do their own formulation, mixing and repackaging. Some too come here and they bring their packaging, then we package for them. So you can even find my product on the shelves of UK, Netherlands, so many places. But because that have the Myanmar brand, you may not link it to us.
And then there's also the farm level tissue culture. There are simple ways that you can take a plantain, corm, or sucker, cut the top, and use that one sucker to multiply that to get a lot of suckers. We should teach farmers how to do that so that we can always have a lot of plantain material to plant. So plantain is a big deal, and in our quest to fix our meat problems in the country, crops like plantain present us an opportunity to have byproducts. So the byproduct of getting your plantain, your bunch of plantain, the leaves, the sucker, could go into animal feed. And that is a lot of volume, because if you see the whole plantain plant, the sucker is just, or the bunch of plantain, it's about 10% of the whole plant. And this plant has taken a lot of water, a lot of nutrients, your energy and all those things. So that 90% of the plant must be optimized to give us returns. So I would urge all of us in the agribusiness space to pay attention to plantain, learn more about it, and invest in. And if you have a farm and if you don't have plantain or banana in there, plant some, because it will give you a lot of byproducts for other things and ensure you get more value from your operations.
Ghana's plantain industry is thriving thanks to the creativity and innovation of its entrepreneurs. From food products to paper and sanitary pads, the potential of plantains is vast and varied. Ghana's plantain industry, a story of innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainability.